Thank y'all for tuning in to Vixen Vibe Tarot. My name is Terry and I am back with another video. I'm going to take this one real slow and it may end up being real long, but I want to talk to you guys because Spirit has just been dealing with me about an issue that so many of us have, and it's a feeling of lack, it's a feeling of doubt, it's a feeling of wishing to be in a space that we're supposed to be in, or longing to be on the path and be in the position and have what God has told us that we should have, okay? The ability to get wealth, health, prosperity, all of this stuff. And Spirit has been dealing with me about the great God within. The great God within. Like, we are not understanding who we are for real. It's like we in our head understand that we are sons of God, we are a child of God. God sent us here for our purpose, to determine to figure out what our purpose is and to walk in it, to walk in the Spirit, to be a light in darkness. And yet we still remain stuck. We still remain unstuck, and we have issues with getting unstuck. And so the Spirit has just been like, you need to understand the great God within. Like, you are not disconnected from the Father. I don't care what you do, where you go, it's like the scriptures talk about, if I'm at the bottom of the ocean, He is there with me. If I am at the highest of the mountain, He is there with me. Like, He is there. And the spirits and the scriptures talk about, even before I ask, even before you ask, it'll be a time when even before you ask, I will answer. And that is because God is within. You are the great God within. Like, you have the power already. You don't have to go ask. You don't have to go beg. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to go fast. You don't have to go pray. You don't have to go seek. You don't have to go knock. You don't have to do any of these things. All you have to do is believe. Believe and understand and know that you are God. Christ Himself taught this. To him that believe, it is given. The woman that had the issue of blood, she believed within herself. She did not talk to Jesus, Yeshua. She did not talk to Him. She did not tell Him about her issue that she had. She did not explain to Him all this time that she was dealing with this. She did not beg Him to heal her. She did not pay her tithes for Him to heal her. She didn't do any of that. All she did was believe within herself that if she were to touch it, she would be made whole. And if you would just touch this message, if you would just understand this message, if you would just know where this message is coming from and who this message is coming from, and it's not coming from Terry, it's not coming from me physically and what I think in my head, it is what I know in my heart to be true. The great God within. And it really makes me really tear up, because once you understand that you have never been disconnected. You have never been disconnected from the power. You just didn't understand your power. You just don't understand your power. You just weren't given the knowledge of your power. You weren't allowed to use your power. Let's talk about it. The powers that were, the powers that be, the powers that would like to believe that they're still in control, do not want you to know your power. It's just like in the scriptures, Yeshua, at that time, the Israelites were under Roman authority. They had their authority stripped. Their temples had been destroyed. They had gone into captivity before Yeshua came. Okay, before he came and came back came back to Israel to let them know and spread it all across that region. After he had been in Egypt, had been in Asia, and had learned these things, understood these things, but his heritage, they already knew this stuff. Like, they already knew, like, the reason why, and I don't want to even get into all of that. You need to know. Like, let's stop going back into biblical days and biblical times and what Jesus did and what he said and what, like, that spirit is still alive today. That spirit is still alive and speaking today in people and vessels like me. Okay? That your body is the temple of God. The Spirit of God is within. The Spirit of God is at hand. What do you want? What do you want? What do you need? What is your purpose? What do you love? Okay? So the Spirit is telling me, like, I wrote down some things, but I'm gonna flow with it. What do you want? What do you want? Have you said it out loud? Have you written it down? Have you written a plan? Have you analyzed it? What do you want? What specifically do you want? What life do you want? You need to be specific. Okay, this is the time where you ask and seek it and knock. Like, Spirit is giving me, you need to be asking, seeking, and knocking on your soul within. You need to be, Terry, what do you want? How does that make you feel? I don't really know. No, I don't know. Yes, you know what? That lights me up, right? That, and I'm talking about so many people that are considered successful in the in the world's eye have not gotten this true. And they still remain empty inside because they have the title, they have the money, they have the house, they have the car, they have the husband, they have the ring. I'm talking about rings like that, okay? But they're empty inside because they have not this truth. Okay, so what do you want? And how do you want it to make you feel? And like when we talk about wealth and God giving us the power to get wealth, I think that's in Numbers, I believe, or Exodus. Is way up there in the beginning of the scriptures. But when it talks about God has given us the power to get wealth, you have to understand that this is not just worldly work. This is not that. It can be that, but you need to make sure that it's aligned with who you naturally are. Because if it's not going to last. It's not going to last. And it's like, I don't know, I'm getting a rich man and the poor man the beggar that was outside his gates, and he wouldn't never give him anything. And it's like, he wouldn't never give him anything because he didn't have it in his heart to give. He thought that everything that he had and owned was his own, and that's not the case because of the great God within. It does not belong to you and your ego. It belongs to the great God within, and the great God within is connected to everything and everyone. And you can never believe that it's just for you. Okay? So what do you want? Name it, claim it. But before you do, before you name and claim what you want, ask yourself, does the work that it takes to get this thing, this life, does the work excite you? If you look at yourself and you say, oh man, this idea is brilliant, I'm going to make a lot of money. But I'm going to use myself for instance. I'm going to make a lot of money. But I'm going to have to be around a lot of sick people, a lot of people that are low vibration because they're sick mentally, physically. They need a lot. They're high maintenance. They have chronic conditions that bring them down low. They have social issues that bring them down low. They have food disparities. They have medications that are making them even more sick. They have family that have abandoned them. Like, is that going to excite me? No. Is that going to fulfill me and make me feel light? No. Am I going to be able to get this message through to them? And that's very important. That's very important, because you would think that these type of people would really be willing to embrace this truth. But I've learned in the field of nursing that you cannot teach someone something when they are in distress. They are not ready to learn. They cannot hear you. They can physically hear you, but they cannot hear you in their soul in order to put it to practice for change for the better. They're not able. They're not able. And so that is why when the doctor comes in the room to visit you and you're there because you're sick, that doctor is saying, okay, what's going on? How long have you had it? What are your symptoms? What have you done already? And he goes into his computer and start mapping out what medications, what exams needs to be done, what blood work needs to be done. He prescribes that. He might give you a little instruction on how to make it improve and how not to make it worse. And he is out of there. He is not trying to cure you. He is not trying to change. And I don't want to say cure. I'll take that back. He's trying to alleviate and cure even the condition if it can be cured. But what he's trying to do, but what he is not trying to do, is trying to change who you are, who you innately are, what you believe about your condition, how you, what your lifestyle is, because you are not ready. That's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time. And so in my profession, I had to really ask myself, does the work that it takes to get this thing excite me? Okay? And so being a person that is, if you are a person that is multi-talented and you have multiple gifts and talents that God has blessed you with on the inside, you need to focus on what excites you, because a lot of these gifts and a lot of these talents have come from just working in the matrix, and you have gotten skills that the matrix will pay you for, but it's not necessarily your calling. Your a calling that will give you wealth, and I'm thinking wealth as in money, but I'm really, really feeling wealth as in prosperity, health, physical likeness and excitement, joy, and even emotional fulfillment. It's probably not doing that. And if it's not doing that, you're not going to be able to, it may look like you're going to get a lot of money. You're going to be rich. You're going to be wealthy. You're going to be all of that. But the energy and vibration that you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. Okay? So if it's weighing you down, you're going to be weighted down, and you're going to put weighted down energy in it, and it's not going to last. It's going to take a toll on your health. It's going to take a toll on your mental health, your physical health. Your bank account may be full. You know what? I see so many people that have luxury vehicles that have a disabled sign hanging up here. A disabled parking thing hanging up here. And when they get out the car, I observe, because I'm a nurse and I do head to toe assessments on everybody that I see. It's just automatic. That's just what I do. So when I'm driving into the store, and it can be a luxury, it could be a mall, a town center, or whatever, upscale and everything, and they park, and they're parked in the handicap parking spot with this top of the line vehicle, and they are getting out of this vehicle and they can barely function. They can barely walk. They can barely move. You getting out of a Lambo and you 300 pounds with a cane. You understand what I'm saying? So you can have the money, but the emotional pressure that is going to put on your body is going to weigh you down. And that's not wealth. That's not wealth. You know, it's just not. Okay. So back to that. Does the work that it takes for you to get what you want excite you? And you need to answer that. You need to really go within and really ponder that. Really meditate on that. Really digest it. Okay. So if it excites you, if what you want and the work that it takes to get it excites you, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? If you're doing it, congratulations, you are on your path. Okay. But if you are still second guessing yourself, if you're still excited and then you wake up depressed because you are not taking steps toward it, there is a disconnect and you don't know who you really are. There is a disconnect, not from the creator, not from source. You're never disconnected, but there's a disconnect here and here, between here and here, on your understanding of who you really truly are. Because we can know who we are, that we are the vessel of the Most High, and that He dwells within us, and that spirit is alive within us, and we can do, be, and have whatever we want. We can know that on a mental level, but there's a disconnect, a subconscious disconnect. That's what I'm hearing, a subconscious disconnect that won't allow you to act on that. Because if you know the chair is strong, if you know, if you touch the chair, you get ready to go sit down and you touch the chair and it's not wobbling, and you still don't sit down, some people will call that some mental illness going on, some anxiety going on. But if you go sit down and get to work, there's something in your subconscious mind that knows that you are safe, that the chair is stable, that you won't fall. Listen, Spirit is going in right now. So why aren't you doing the work if it excites you? You know why? Because there is a disconnect from your conscious and your subconscious mind. There's something in your subconscious mind that is telling you, I am not safe. This road, this pathway is not stable. And I may fall. I don't want to fall. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. Okay? Period. That's what's going on. And you can say that it's not. You can say that you trust God. You can say that you believe in Jesus. And you know that all your needs are met, and you know that he won't leave you or forsake you, and you can say with your mouth all these things. But faith without works is dead. There is no faith without works. There is no faith without works. There is no knowing without doing, okay? But you got to know that you are. I am that I am. You got to know that I am that I am. I am that pathway. I am that work. I am that prosperity. I am that wealth. I met with some sisters last night and blew my mind. It blew my mind what we were talking about and the gifts of the Spirit that were present within that circle. And we had dinner, 3-course dinner, beautiful ladies, all talented, all royalty in my sight, and in the Most High sight, and in society's sight. And one of the ladies brought up Job, and she said, you got to believe, you got to trust. She said, Job believed in God. He believed God, and he lost everything, and he gained it all back. He gained it all back. So you got to trust God. You got to believe that God is going to bless you, that he's going to. And the Spirit just took over me. I allowed it because it's already me. It's me. It's who I am, right? The Spirit said, Job got double the wealth because he was the wealth. He knew that he is the wealth. So whatever he lost, he was going to get it back. He was going to get back what he lost regardless. The reason why he got double is because of the growth that he got during the process of losing. He understood that no, I'm not losing anything. This is a path. This is the path. This is a part of the path. So I know I must be getting it back. I will get it back because I am it. I am it. I am the wealth. I am the lovely family, the children that's my being. That's who I am. And so because he stood firm on that, he was able to grow through that to a higher level of faith. So you can't get more of what you don't have, or what you don't have, you're going to get more of not having. But if you already know that you are, you're gonna have. If you already are it, you're gonna get it and more. Okay. Off that, and everybody was just like, whoo, I felt the Spirit. I felt people. I felt the women just, their spirit just lifted when I said it, and I knew that it was the Spirit speaking through me. And I'm paraphrasing. I don't know how, but it came out. It was like powerful, and I felt the power. I felt the God within. I felt the great God within me. But you got to be willing to be vulnerable. You got to be willing to be vulnerable. You got to be willing to allow. You got to be willing to receive the gift that God has already given you, which is your spirit, his spirit. When he breathed breath into your body here on this earth, the breath that was breathed into your physical body is the soul and the spirit that is eternal. Is eternally connected to the source. So the answer is always yes. The answer is always yes. Even if in the physical somebody says no. Because that's just keeping you on your path. Okay? I'm going to pause it. All right, I'm going in. Anyway, Why aren't you doing the work if it excites you? Okay, get busy. I'm just, bottom line, get busy. Get busy, stay consistent, don't doubt. And watch your reality turn into exactly what you want it to be. But you got to go deep. You got to take some time to hash things out and hash out who you are and understand who you are and get it rooted and repeat it so you can get out of your subconscious mind that you're disconnected. That maybe it ain't in God's will. Maybe it just ain't in God's will. You got to get aligned. Maybe it ain't in God's will because it's not in your will, because it don't even make you feel excited. So it's not in your will to have that, right? So you have to reprogram that subconscious from believing that maybe it's just not in God's will because it hasn't happened yet. It's just some work that you got to do to get you in alignment of what your path is. Okay? So get busy, go with the flow. Be consistent and do not doubt. But the main step is you gotta know yourself. You gotta learn yourself. You gotta know what it feels, how you feel about the things that you're thinking about, the things that you're ruminating about, that you want to be, the person that you want to be, the people that you want to be around, how you want to feel. You gotta spend some time knowing who you really are, what you really like, what you don't like, what you want to be doing all day. Do you not want to be doing this all day to get money? Do you like the people that you're around? All this stuff, like, that takes a lot. It takes really being real with yourself. It takes really being real with yourself. Okay. So you are the great God, because the divine spirit lives within you. Okay, so stop doubting and stop shrinking yourself. Stop being scared to understand this because ain't nobody never taught it to you. And if you tell it to your mama gonna think it's blaspheming the Holy Spirit. You going to hell. All right, be bold. Like, you gotta be like Yeshua. He was bold. He was bold with this thing, and they was trying to kill him, right? So you ain't really gotta go around blasting this stuff out. You just got to know it within yourself. You got to go in your closet. You got to go into your closet. Okay? Know this. Know this truth. The spirit lives in you. You are the great God. The source lives within you. Okay? And when you understand this on a subconscious level, you cannot lose. You cannot lose. Okay? That's all I have. Thank you for watching. If you stayed to the end, please like, subscribe, share it if you know it'll really bless somebody and they're ready to hear it. Okay? All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.